They are some of the coolest photos I have ever taken in my life.
So yesterday morning, I woke up and I got out of bed. And I was calmly sipping my breakfast when it hit me. I've smashed ice for a photo before. But can I do it better? So that's when I went and grabbed as many containers as I could possibly find and started looking around the house for random things that I could freeze in ice. And I also started boiling some water. You'll see why.
Nope. Not happening. Here we are. 6 tubs of random things frozen in ice later, and I think we're ready to take some photos. So for these first photos, the idea I had was to shine light up through the ice, and hopefully that'll give it some kind of glow and also illuminate whatever's in the ice. So now that our little light setup's done, I've got this black deflector and diffuser here, which I'm gonna use as the background to make sure the background's nice and dark and that we don't get any distracting details because we want it to solely be on the block of ice. So the stuff I froze in ice consists of an apple, a magnifying glass, a ring, piece of paper, and a watch. I really want this watch to turn out well because I think the watch is ruined now. So now that our whole production studio is set up, let's hit things first off with the magnifying glass. So the magnifying glass won't stand up by itself because of how uneven the bottom is, so I'm gonna try and aim for some bird's eye view pictures of it instead. Oh, that is so sick. So my plan is to get at least one banger per thing frozen in ice, and I think with the magnifying glass, we've done it.
Probably still wondering why I boiled that water. So if you just freeze normal ice, it'll turn out like this. Very clouded and not clear look. But if you use boiled water, it'll give it this nice, clear, transparent look.
The ring turned out really cool. It's frozen directly in the center of the ice block. This ring one is proving to be very difficult because the light's coming from behind it, so you don't see the detail in the front, and that's a problem.
As soon as I looked at the watch, the first thing I could see was that there was a massive gas bubble in front of the face of the watch, so you couldn't see it at all.
I need to find a way to try and get rid of that gas bubble. So the gas bubble's gone now. All I did was run it under hot water. The second hand's still ticking. I wonder how long this would keep ticking if you froze it in like a glacier. Probably till the battery runs out. Yeah, that's a stupid question. Yo, I could straight take photos of that watch all day. They are some of the coolest photos I have ever taken in my life. But before we bring them into editing and have a look, I think it's time to start smashing some stuff. I've got 6 pretty big blocks of ice here, and I think there's only one thing left to do with them. So I've got the shutter speed set to around 2000 here to make sure we get those nice crisp particles. Water on my lens now. That's better. These photos. Alright, let's get in and have a look at these photos, shall we? Now on to our first photos, which are the magnifying glass. I took a ton of photos of the magnifying glass, but there was only around 3 that I actually liked. So the first photo here, you can see it's quite close up. It's crazy how just a small light underneath can illuminate the entire image and give it some really cool highlights on the side. I tried a long exposure shot for this one, just to see if I could add some really cool light streaks going through, and it illuminated it very well. It looks really awesome, but I kind of prefer the more ominous detective type vibe where you can't where everything's not lit up pretty much. Now moving on to the ring. Now again, I took a ton of photos of the ring, but there was only one that I actually liked, and that's this photo here. So in editing, all I really did was bring up the exposure of the ring itself so we can see it a bit better. Now onto the piece of paper in ice. So if you couldn't tell already, it says ice contains no future, just the past sealed away. And I thought this was a really cool concept to just freeze in ice. And if you're wondering where the apple is in all this, None of the Apple photos really turned out well, so I didn't really want to include them or even edit them. Sometimes it doesn't work. Now onto the moment that you've all been waiting for, the main event. Let's talk about these watch photos. So after getting the gas bubble out, which was absolutely horrible, I was left with 6 photos after editing that I absolutely loved. But you can see that they're like something you would see out of a watch commercial, except I did them in my living room with an LED light and a piece of glass. It's insane. And you can see all the little water particles on the face of the watch. It's half frozen in ice, which adds like a really interesting aspect to it, as well as you can see the reflection of the watch on the glass below, as well as some water droplets. Just such a super simple idea to just freeze something in ice and take a photo of it, and it yields just such incredible results. No need to talk anymore. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.